Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in and welcome to joining us live and online. It's Tuesday, September 22nd, so happy fall equinox. I'm here with my special guest, Marsha Read. I'm really excited to be bringing her on very soon. We're going to be talking about healing with the chakras with sound. But first, I just want to say whatever is bothering you right now, whatever is weighing you down, it's an opportunity to just give it to God and give it to the angels. All right. So to activate their power, just say, Dear God and archangels, please take away my fear regarding this situation and fill me with faith. In Jesus' name, amen. And honey, everybody can see you. So yes. That's so funny. No, nobody can see you now. So thank you again for tuning you in. We'd love to have you joining us here live and online at Julie Helena Robinson. You never know what's going to happen when I go live and who you're going to see. But anyways, I'm so proud to be here with all of you today and our special guest and my good friend, Marsha Read. We're going to be sharing special information with you today about chakras. So who is Marsha? Why am I bringing her on? I've got to tell you about her. So she's a sound healer, teacher, songwriter, storyteller who supports humanity to find their songs and sing harmony with the songs of creation. I'm reading her bio here. After she actually retired from working with the Calgary Board of Education as a music teacher, Marsha became a practitioner and instructor for healing touch and energy medicine. For those of you who don't know, healing touch is a huge healing community and it's certified by the American and Canadian Nursing Association. She brings love, light, laughter, and music to healing to all who receive it. Now, listen to this, you guys. Marsha also taught my mentor, Jeanette Nienaber. Jeanette's been my mentor for over 12 years now. And that's how I discovered Marsha, because Marsha taught Jeanette healing touch. And now Jeanette's a healing touch examiner and instructor. So it's crazy. It's just crazy how we're all connected. Now, Marsha and I met over a decade ago when I first moved back to Calgary. And then I became her student of healing touch. So she taught me and Jeanette. And since then, Marsha and I worked together. Actually, we worked at a place called Spiritual Directions in 2008. That place is closed down now, but we worked with some really cool healers and animal healers. And it was really neat to work with Marsha. And I'm so excited to announce that Marsha and I will be teaching a 7-week course as part of my Everyday Angel Miracle seminar. But this one is called The Sound of Chakras. So we're really excited about this, and you should too. So I'm going to bring in Marsha. And as I keep talking about her and what we're going to be teaching, Marsha and I are going to help you to unblock your chakras and tune them to the frequency of the rays of the universe. I know that sounds like really extravagant and out there, which it is. But today, that's what the course. Today, we're just going to be talking about the chakras. What are they? How to balance your chakras with sound healing, and why that's important. Now, if any of you listening today have ever been sick recently, you were sick recently. Uh, uh, and or you've been depressed or something like that. It could be because you have a block in one or more of your 7 major chakras. So we're going to be discussing. Marsha is the queen of this. She actually taught me back in 2008 about limiting beliefs. I'll never forget this, because we're talking about the chakras, we're talking about healing, and she says, what's the limiting belief that you're holding about, like, that's connected to that chakra? And I never forgot it. Every time I use the word limiting belief now in my angel counseling, I think Marsha Read taught me that. She taught me that anytime you have a block in the chakra, it's a limiting belief. So she's going to be talking about that. Welcome, Marsha. She's going to be doing some sound healing. So Marsha, tell us a little bit about why you're here today and how you've come to know about the chakras before we begin.
Well, you're making me sound very old when I teach the whole universe, and I guess I am. I've been around a long time. I probably taught. I'm welcome to all you people who are on Facebook Live. Imagine being on Facebook Live. Isn't that something? We used to just first fly to the North Star and then straight on till morning. But now we have technology. And so we use technology to get together and to talk. So why am I here today? I'm here today because I'm here to honor you and also to honor Julie. Julie just released her book, and I just finished reading the book, and I certainly enjoyed it. Well done, Julie. I think you can buy that book maybe on Amazon now too, or you could maybe get it directly from Julie. So in reading the book, and I contacted Julie to congratulate her, and she said, "Well, how would you like to do a little course on chakras?" And so, what is a chakra? A chakra is a whirling wheel. It's an ancient Sanskrit word. And Sanskrit is not a language that's used anymore, but it's a Sanskrit word meaning a wheel of light. So every place in your body where a bone meets a bone, any knuckle, any place a bone meets a bone, any of those knuckles have chakras. Those are chakras. There's little whirling energy. There's energy there. However, we're not going to teach all 650 of them. We're just going to teach the 7, what are considered the main chakras of your system. And if you study healing touch, you'll learn how to do what's called the self connection. And you touch your body in a certain way to open all of your chakras. I'm going to teach you in the 7-week course. I'll teach you how to open and unblock all of your chakras. We'll do a little bit of that today. But the 7 major chakras go up the center of your body. So the first one is the root. One is the root.
That is red, right? The base, yep.
The
Just
base.
showing the poster for our workshop. Yep.
And the base, it's sometimes called the base chakra. It's sometimes called the root chakra. But it's all about your bones and muscles and the first layer of your field. It's all about your bones. So the sound of that would be tribal sounds. What is the sound of your particular tribe? So if you're from Scotland, it might be, "I'll take the high road and I'll take the low road, and I'll be in Scotland afore ye." If you're a Native American, it might be "Hey yunga, ho yunga, hey yung yung." So each chakra has a sound and a song. And when we just teach, so let's name the chakras. So the first one is the root. The second one, which is just below the belly button, is the sacral.
Sacral, that's the one that's the color orange that we see here up on the screen. Yep.
And these are the most common names, but there are other names for them as well. The third chakra is known as the solar plexus. It governs your digestive system. The next chakra is the heart chakra, and it's the cardiovascular system. The fifth chakra is your throat chakra, has to do with when you're swallowing, when you're digesting your food, when you're bringing food into your body. It's also about speaking your truth and singing your song. It's a very important one. And then the brow chakra, or the sixth chakra, which is in the center of your forehead, that's where you see the visions of your heart. And it also governs the brain. So often, when that chakra gets displaced or it gets blocked, that's when you have a lot of neurological difficulties. And then the top one, of course, is the crown. So the crown flows upward above your head, like the root flows downward from the base of your spine. Is that what you wanted me to tell them, Julie?
Yeah. Very exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right. So we have these 7 basic chakras. And what I want to, and hi Diane and hi Christy, nice to see you live and online. We'll just do, I'm scared to do a refresh because I'm scared that we'll crash the system. So I don't know. I'll just say hi to them. I can see them on my other screen. I think one of the things that I want to add to what you said, because you said it so well, is these chakras in our body, they also connect to living areas. So the root chakra, like you said, connects to our tribe, which means our sense of family, the people that we feel like we belong to. If we're healers, we belong to other healers. Addicts, we have that family in our 12-step program, and it connects to our life purpose. And when that chakra is balanced and it's in tune with, and I'll let you talk about its sound, then that's when we draw in miracles to its corresponding living area. So for example, when we tune our root chakra to the middle C on the piano keyboard, and we do that through many ways. We're going to talk about it through sound today and over the next 8 weeks if you're going to be taking the course with us. But there's also affirmations that you can use to tune it. And it could even tune the sound quality of your root chakra, for example. I'm safe. I'm blessed. I'm prosperous. I'm an abundantly supplied for child of God. Stuff like that is going to open up your chakra and balance any imbalances. And there's living areas for each chakra. Um, and story now. Do we have any stories that we can share about compromised chakras? Because what can happen, Marsha, if our chakras are compromised?
Well, when life happens, that's the truth. Life happens. You know, you're born this beautiful, beloved child, and then life happens. So when you have a life experience that is traumatic emotionally, like a car accident, if you have a car accident, or if you get an illness, then that illness or that whatever it is that has happened to you will block your chakras. So, uh, okay, a story of a root chakra that's blocked. If a person's root chakra is blocked, often they have a lot of difficulty moving around the world. They can't move because the root's blocked. So, what we want to do is we want to get the root unblocked. If you see people who are in wheelchairs, sometimes their root will be so displaced. It might be, for example, I used to do a group of MS people, and their root chakras were sometimes not even where it's supposed to be, which is at the base of the spine. But I would play the sound for the root chakra or sing it, which would be like a middle C. And I would say, where do you feel that in your body? So let's just do that right now. Let's just put your feet flat on the floor.
Okay.
And if I sing this sound, I'm going to just go, la. Where do you feel that in your body? You don't have to answer, just notice. If you should be feeling it at the base of your spine, by the perineum down there. And then it should be traveling down, 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 grounding you on the earth. However, what I found out with people who had MS, this one lady said to me, she felt it right up here on her shoulder. That's where she felt her root. So when we worked and we got the chakra to move and we got it back grounded, guess what happened to her ability to stand up? She was able to get up out of that wheelchair. Well, then a few weeks later, we got her walking again because the chakra was unblocked and it started to spin again. And the energy started to flow and the energy started to ground her on the earth. So the song here's my song for you. You know the tune. One is the root, and we're grounded like a tree. Two is the sacral, it's full of energy. Three, solar plexus, you are you and I am me. Four is the heart full of loving energy. Five is the throat, tell your story, sing your song. Six is the brow, it guides you right along. Seven is the crown where the light shines in. When you're grounded and balanced, you're ready to begin. Remember that?
Yes.
Little clappets? Anyway,
Oh my God, I love it. I
those
absolutely
that's my chakra song for you, and it's the chakras in a nutshell. And did you notice that I'm singing a major scale, like do a deer, a female deer, like
yeah.
one is the root, two is the sacral. Well, that's the way it goes. It's like a major scale or a diatonic scale. You could call it a diatonic scale. You can call it a major scale. You can call it the Pythagorean scale. How do you like that?
I love
Because
it.
Pythagoras was actually the first one that said when you move sound, tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone, you have this kind of a pattern. And that kind of a pattern is the same pattern as we live to. That's the pattern that flows up and down our chakras, right?
Yes.
So, anyway, that's a little bit about. I mean, I could tell you a million stories about the root and another million about the sacred because I've been in doing this for a very long time. Before you were born, probably, Julie.
Yeah, I love it though, but I think that makes it even greater because, to be a pioneer of chakras and healing back in the day when you did it, it was unheard of at that time. Like nobody was willing to come out as a spiritual healer, but you did.
Well, what happened, you see, in the eastern part of in Asia and in India, they've known about under Ayurvedic medicine, they've known about chakras forever. But when we started doing healing touch, which was in the 80s and the 70s, it was like you're talking about chakras. That's a bunch of garbage. That belongs in India. Go back to India. Go back somewhere else because
Oh, racist and ignorant.
nobody believed in it. But now we realize that just like you have a digestive system, you have a cardiovascular system, you also have an energy system. And part of that energy system is your chakras. That's the one we're focusing on. But the meridians are also part of your energy system, right?
Yes. Yeah,
Your
absolutely.
field, your biofield is part of your energy system. And what Julie teaches for all of you are who come on her live stream a lot, what Julie teaches is so you open your energy system and you connect with your spiritual guidance, and then you have access to all of the beauty of all of the light energy because your energy is lighter and your channels are open, and then you can access all the angels, and that when you're in the flow, and when you're in the flow, the miracles happen. And so welcome to my world. There you go.
Oh, that was beautifully said. Thank you so much. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think listening to the angels is the most important thing that we can do because I always say when you can hear an angel message and take guided action, a blessing will always follow. And one of the biggest reasons why we sometimes can't hear our angels is because we have blocks to our chakras, specifically the crown chakra. Archangel Michael's interrupting me and he wants me to talk about the crown chakra for a minute because a lot of people get headaches in here. And the crown chakra really deals with the issues of forgiveness. Marsha and I are going to spend a whole hour on that once we start teaching our course, which by the way, starts October 13th and it goes to November 24th. So you can sign up now at my website, juliespiritualhealer.com. And if you get headaches frequently and you feel like you have a hard time hearing your angels, when we get to the crown chakra, this is really going to help you to open up. Crown chakra deals a lot with unforgiveness. You know, sometimes we've been through trauma or we've been in situations where our feelings were hurt and we kind of shut down. We were in a place of resentment and we have this inability to forgive. What we don't realize is it really shuts us down in here, and then we wonder why we can't hear, we can't connect. Same thing if we have a bad religious experience. I work with a lot of people in 12-step programs who have a very hard time surrendering to that higher power. And it's oftentimes because people just, they were brought up, you know, with a certain religion that was very punitive or guilt ridden. And then that also can cause blocks to the crown chakra. So we're going to talk a lot about how to open that up and some of the other chakras. And exactly like Marsha said, once you get into the flow, you do start attracting miracles. The root chakra is another famous one where people have blocks. The root chakra deals a lot with money. One of the things I thought of, Marsha, when you were talking about, I know you've encountered this too, because you've been healing a lot longer than I have. I've only been healing for 12 years out of the spiritual closet. How many years have you been?
Oh, we won't talk about that. Probably
Longer.
lifetime.
Okay, longer. But I'm sure you'll agree with me, Marsha, that people with lower back issues have money worries.
It's always the second chakra. Yeah,
Yeah,
the second chakra, the sacral chakra, is about your passion for life. And it's
right.
also about trusting the universe and trusting your abundance. And it's
Yeah.
also about being able to eliminate or control the flow, right? Because that's
Mhm.
where when you get constipated, it's because you're hanging on way too tight. And when you get diarrhea, it's because you're letting go way too fast, right?
Yeah,
Your
you're
body,
unsure of your thoughts.
yeah, your body speaks. And when your body speaks, you better listen. And so
Absolutely.
what you need to do is you need to find, and as Julie will tell you, there's angels for every chakra, and those angels will help you out. So you connect, you get your energy system all open, you connect with your angels. That's Julie's forte, is focusing in on your spiritual guidance, which is there for all of us.
Yes.
It's all,
Anybody,
it's not just there for Julie or for me or for somebody else. It's there for you. Those of you that are listening, you also have access to all of those angels. The only thing you have to do is ask.
yeah, yeah. And the question that you and I talked about a month ago, and it's so funny because so many people have asked me this question ever since you brought it up, Marsha. She's because remember you asked me, you said, how do you get people to trust their angels? And I said, yeah, a lot of people ask me that, and the way that you trust your angels is through practice. And honestly, it's if you think about people who join the army, people who do martial arts, they practice. And intuitive guidance is no different. You have to be disciplined. You got to get up every morning, you got to clear your chakras, and you got to play. I like to tell a lot of my clients and students to practice on the practical things that are low stakes so that when you have a high stakes issue that you need the angels help with, you've already programmed your trigger with the angels. And we'll be talking a little bit about that in the course that Marsha and I teach for 7 weeks. But right now you should sit down with your angels and have a meeting with them and say, look, when the answer is yes, you know, what's a way that's going to work for me? Many years before I even came out of the spiritual closet, I was in a dire situation where there was some life or death scenario when I had to rely on my angel's guidance for my protection. And I would be like, okay, when can I leave the house safely? What is the timeline? Is it between 10 and 12? Between 12 and 2? Like I had to rely on them. But I started off with the practical things. Should I wear black or should I wear white? Because when we get nervous, when we're scared or angry, we can't hear our angels. So I practiced with a small thing. Should I eat a banana or should I have a smoothie? And then I told my angels, okay, show me green when the answer is yes. Show me red when the answer is no. So I programmed my trigger. And once you have that relation, I know this sounds kind of out there for some of you, but it really does work. And it's just about practice. It's just like somebody getting up and doing sit-ups in the morning, or Marsha getting up and practicing her vocals so she can tune to, to C major scale. You really have to practice and be very vigilant. Speaking of clearing your chakras, Marsha, you were telling me in the summer about your practice, which I just love. Tell us a little bit about how you clear your chakras every morning.
Well, I'm not sure I don't remember the conversation, but I clear them in many different ways. And right now, at this moment, because it's the fall time, I often use tuning forks, which I'll also show you how to use if you come to the course. So there's tuning forks have different frequencies. And if you have a tuning fork that sounds at 128 hertz, hertz just means that's the way you measure the sound, the number of cycles per second. So 128 hertz, and then I just activate the tuning fork, put it by my ear, activate it, put it by the other ear, put it on the top of my head, and that will instantaneously, for those of you that are way younger than me and you're still really in the go, 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 got to get the kids, got to get the washroom, got to do this, got to go do that, got to do a whole bunch of this stuff. You can clear with 128, which is the ohm. It's really one of the ohm frequencies. And with that, you can clear all your chakras almost instantaneously. You can also just touch the governing and central meridians, and one ends in your chin, one ends right below your nose. And if you tone those, just like la, and then la, you just tune them like that, all of your meridians will open simultaneously. So those are some of the
My
things I
daughter's
do
calling me.
in the morning. Somebody's trying to get hold of you.
I know, Sarah, I'm live on Facebook. I'll call you back. She's in the other room. Oh, that's too funny.
How did she get so lucky to have an angel reader for a mother? My goodness.
Yeah, I don't know if she would say that, but yeah, she's actually quite psychic. When she was little, she used to give me messages from my dogs that are in heaven that she never met before she was born. And she used to give me messages when she was little, right? She was so open when her shot, she was before school corrupted her and the world, right? But I used to say, how do you know that? And she would just know things. And now she says, "Oh, Mom, I don't believe in that stuff." She's 14
No.
now, but
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 she'll come back to it. She'll come back to it. Right now, it's not cool for her to talk that way, but she'll come back to it because she already knows it. We know it. We're actually born with all this information. We know it before we're born
yeah,
because
that's
it is who we are. We are spiritual beings having a human experience, right?
absolutely, yeah.
We're
And
not
things like
human.
trauma can make us forget that. In my own healing and in helping to facilitate healing for other people, I've seen that once they clear the chakras, they heal and change their limiting beliefs. Which, by the way, I want to talk about that really quickly. In this book, one of the things that I want to talk about right now is tuning your chakras through beliefs. So I mentioned affirmations. If you go through a period of time when you're poor, which I have, and I'm sure many of you have also gone through poverty at times, um, what can happen is you start to tell yourself a story of, I'm so broke. Who here has said that? Uh, I am so broke. And then you keep, like Marsha says about singing your song, it's the same thing. As you keep telling yourself that over and over again, you're actually compromising the root chakra, because the chakras are listening, they're energy. And when we speak something, it creates an energy frequency. So when I went from broke to working at the seventh chakra during that period of transition in my life, before I got that job, I would wake up every morning, I'd clear my chakras. That was while I was writing this book, because I learned from the angels, what you do on the inside, you see on the outside. So that's why I'm so passionate about this concept, because it changed my life. I'd wake up, I'd say, I'm rich, I'm prosperous. I'd see myself driving a new car, having lots of clothes, having enough money. And I would visualize and feel what that would be like in my kinesthetic. And I would even sit in my bed and hold the steering wheel. I would visualize holding the steering wheel and say, thank you, God and angels, that it is so. But I also let go of the how. A lot of people are sharing information about being specific with the universe, but I would argue that it's more important to trust how God wants to give us abundance. So what I did was I shifted my mindset, my beliefs that were connected to my root chakra, from one of lack to one of abundance. And in this book, and in the new book that just came out a couple weeks ago, the Spiritual Principle Affirmations, that's going to help you to transition your belief systems from lack to abundance. And when you start reading about your life purpose and how to call on Archangel Michael, and in chapter 2, how to set your intention on page 41 here, this is when you start to change the belief systems that you hold. If you've been abused as a little kid, you might believe that you're bad. And that shame, you carry that in some of your chakras. Some of you, it's your heart. Some of you, it's your crown. But a lot of it, like Marsha was talking about, we hold that trauma in our root. And those of us who are clairvoyant, we can see those cracks and compromised root chakras. And so the way to start and the way to begin is take an inventory. Anybody listening right now, take an inventory of what are your limiting beliefs? What do you believe about money? What do you believe about relationships? What do you believe about love? What do you believe is possible about power? Right, Marsha, have you seen this with people who have very low self-esteem? Their solar plexuses are either too big or too small.
Nearly all, nearly all disease comes from feeling not worthy, feeling not good enough. The third chakra, you have to say, I am worthy, I am enough. And the limiting belief is that I'm not good enough. That's what we believe. We believe the universe will provide for everybody else, but not me, because something happened to me when I
Yeah.
was a very, very young child.
My parents left, they weren't there, my dad left, what have you.
Yeah, I got that my parents got divorced, or it can be later in life. I
Yep.
got divorced, and it's not so much what happens; it's what we decide to believe about ourselves, and that's what we mean by a limiting belief. So let's take it into, say, I'm 22 years old. I get a divorce and I decide it's all my fault. I'm no good. I'm a bad person. I'm not pretty enough. I'm too fat. I'm this, I'm that. I'm not a good enough worker. I'm not sexy enough. I'm not good enough in bed. He left or she left, whatever happened, right?
Yep. Yep.
Then we decide not good enough. So what you have to do is change that belief. So what I use to change belief is a little chant. So I say, like every morning, and maybe this is the one you were asking about, I say, I listen to my heart, I trust what I know, I stand in my spirit and let the healing flow. So you have to listen to your heart. You have to trust your knowing. You have to stand in your power. And
Yes.
you have to allow. You have to go into allow. Or you might say, I don't believe that I will ever be rich. or I will always be poor. There's a
Right.
good one.
That's a
You
limiting
know
belief.
that.
Yeah.
I will always be poor. If that's your belief, you need to change it. You need to change it to, you know, I
I
live in
deserve.
abundance now. Life flows easily for me. I live in abundance now, and life flows easily for me. Whatever, just make yourself a little chant up, and then just
Yes. And
tell
sing it
yourself.
when you're at the superstore and let everybody know.
You just sing it in your head. You can sing it in your heart. You can sing it out loud. You can sing it in the on the way when you're taking the garbage out.
It's true. Yeah, it's true. Joel
It
Osteen
works. I
says if
tell
you
you.
want to know where your life's going to be in 5 years, pay attention to what you're thinking about. And I love that song idea. Oh God, Marsha, you know that reminds me of about 10 years ago. Do you remember your voicemail? I used to call your house. This is before you got a cell phone. Sorry. But I used to have an answering machine. And you used to say before the beep, keep singing your song. And it's true. Now, is it difficult at the beginning? Yes. If you've spent 5 years in poverty, is it going to feel awkward and uncomfortable to say, I'm rich, when around you, you don't see the abundance? Yes. Is it going to feel like you're lying to yourself? Yes, it will at first. It's like a fat person saying, I'm skinny in the mirror every day. Of course. But in order to change that belief, um, you have to get through splat. You have to get to the other side of that awkwardness. And then I'm rich and I'm well provided for just becomes your new normal. Yeah.
Because energy follows thought, you see.
Energy follows thought. Yeah.
And
That's
if you
really true.
think you can't, you're right. If you think you can, you're right.
Yeah.
If you think you can or you can't, you're right. What you think will guide what happens in your life because energy follows thought.
Yes.
And your thoughts turn, if you keep thinking that thought over and over and over and over and over, that becomes a belief.
That
Now
is
I
communication.
believe it. I
Yeah.
believe I will never find anybody who will love me. That's a belief now.
Yeah.
So then, if you really want to be in a relationship, you've got to change that belief. You've got to believe, first of all, I am lovable. I love myself. I'm gentle with myself. I am a loving, kind person.
Yes.
I can receive love.
Yeah.
People love me. I love people.
Yeah.
And when you change your beliefs, then pretty soon people notice that. Whereas if you show up with two fists like this and you're ready to punch
Ready to
everybody in
fight.
the face, and you're
Yeah.
giving, a young man gave me the finger the other day. Yeah, just driving down the road, mind my own business. And you know what? If you do that, if that's your stance, and you go around doing that, blaming and shaming everybody else, you're blaming and shaming yourself too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's only
Exactly.
one. There's one heartbeat. And so when you criticize that other person, you're also criticizing you. So be a
Yeah.
little bit aware of what you're saying. What
Yeah.
are you saying to yourself?
Yeah, that's so true. And don't talk yourself out of God's best. The things that God's saying about you are these positive affirmations. Like we don't get them from nowhere. I mean, you can even find them in the Bible, right? You're abundantly supplied for. Jesus even said, what ask for it and you shall receive it. The other thing too is that we argue a lot. How you treat yourself is how you treat God. So if you're giving somebody the finger, you're also kind of cutting yourself away from God. I'd say all these limiting beliefs is getting in the way of your connection to the divine, right? And you can't hear the angels either when you're in that low frequency because the angels frequency is one of love. The angels are so in love with you. God is so in love with you. And even if you've made mistakes, God has not moved from you. He's moving closer towards you. And when you start to say things like, I'm worthy, I'm lovable, I'm kind, I'm enough, you're getting into agreement with God. Then when the angel message comes in and says, don't worry, the money's coming, or don't worry, you're going to meet him. Go to Chapters and you're going to meet the love of your life, or go to Costco, or whatever that message is, you're going to be much more likely to recognize it, because those internal thoughts and beliefs that you hold are of the same and similar frequency of those of God and the angels. So really working with your chakras, transmuting your beliefs, and clearing and, clearing yourself, making sure you have a high love frequency every day. That's a surefire way to get into the flow of abundance. Marsha, I'm going to quickly refresh our screen and see if we can pull up some comments. Are you game to take a risk and see if we get kicked out?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
No problem. Been kicked out of lots of places.
Okay, let's hope. Let's finger cross. Positive affirmation. We will remain. Let's see how that works. And we're back. We did it. Yes, the power of prayer. So we're just going to pull up some comments. Karen, hi. Nice to see you. And then we've got Christy sending us hearts. Christy, another oldie friend of mine. We've been friends since grade 8. Nice to see you, Christy. And then we've got Jermaine coming to us from Banff. Jermaine owns an amazing bakery in Banff. Nice to see you all the way in Banff. And we have Maha. She's loving it. Karen Eckfort says, Qigong teaches us this too. Yes.
Absolutely. Gotta love Chenny Lin. Or the gold brocades. That's another one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dr. Ong in Edmonton, he teaches Qigong. He's
Yeah.
a master. I think he's the head of the International Buddhist Society.
Very cool. Very cool.
Amazing, amazing man. Good friend of mine.
Yeah, you're very, very well connected. You've worked with some amazing people over the years. Any highlights?
I sure have. Well, the highlight is always in the now time, working with
Oh,
Julie.
thank you so much. Well, Marsha, I'm just so excited for us to do this workshop. I'm going to share a little bit about the 7-week course before we say goodbye. So just a reminder to everybody, and Marsha will pipe in here with me too. It's a 7-week course. I'll pull up the poster again. It runs October 13th to November 24th. We're going to meet every Tuesday at 4 p.m. on Zoom. Everybody will get a little mini reading at the end of our seminar. And the sole purpose will be to tune your chakras to the note of each chakra. We'll also be talking about the archangels, which archangel connects with each chakra. And then, of course, how to draw in miracles connected to that chakra. So if you have blocks in your back heart chakra, how do you draw in that romance? How do you harmonize the relationships that you have? And how do you draw in more money? Marsha will be working with different sound tools every week. So tell us about some of the sound techniques you'll be working with, Marsha.
Well, we'll do some toning, which is just allowing your own voice to sound.
Okay.
We'll work with tuning forks and we'll work with bowls. I have these beautiful crystal bowls. I also have Tibetan bowls. I have
Ooh.
drums. I have all kinds of different drums and rattles. So we'll use different ones every week just to release what the rattles are really good for sometimes is breaking up the energy. Because if you've had a trauma that is sitting there in that solar plexus for a long period of time, sometimes if you just really rattle that or use a bell that has that sound and just use that bell over the solar plexus, you can break up the energy. And when you break up the energy of that old belief, then you see you're doing it at a different level. You're not trying to think it differently, right? Although your thoughts are very, very important. But what sound healing does is it deals with the things the trauma is so deep that we bury it deep in ourselves and we forget about it. We
Mm.
don't even remember it happened. I have worked with some people, they can't remember anything before age 10. Something may have happened back there that they can't remember, but we can clear it without them remembering it because it's probably buried in their second chakra or maybe their third chakra. So I'll be using different, that's why I moved to sound healing, because sound healing can get at the things that we can't even think about, the traumas that have happened to us that are too deep to even bring into focus. So that's what we'll be doing.
Yes, and I'll be running you through a guided meditation while Marsha makes the sound as well to connect you to your angels, and you can expect to receive beautiful healing messages from them as well. So go to juliespiritualhealer.com right now under events to sign up, and we can't wait to see you in October. All right. Again, October 13th through to November 24th on Zoom. Marsha, thank you so much for being here today. I had so much fun.
Always my pleasure. And love to all of you. Love to all of you who
And
are
you.
on with us. We just send you infinite amounts of love. And the angels are just saying, thank you, 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 thank you for being here with us today because we love you. We love you. We love you. And that's what the angels always say. They always say that. You are
Yeah,
a child of the universe being born in this very moment. So be gentle with yourself and be kind to one another.
love it. Thank you, Ellen. I mean, Marsha. Oh my God. Love it. We had so much fun. Can't wait to see you guys. Take care. Stay blessed. Bye bye.
Bye now. Be well.